some of the problems with the organization, the sort of outrageous things that occur, or maybe the fact that this system operates somewhat outside of our usual social constraints, and that a few sick people within it miscarry it? Is that possible?
Well, there's two important things there. Yes, it does work outside our normal conception of our everyday life. We can't believe. I mean, you have no idea what goes on in Scientology. Not just the belief in Xenu and all that kind of stuff. As I said, until you've paid $360,000 to them, you're not going to hear about Xenu. But I mean, the systematic breakup of families, the fact that there's essentially a prison camp inside Scientology. They have something called the Rehabilitation Project Force.
Hey, Mark, hold that thought. Can I keep you across this commercial break and you tell me about that?
Absolutely.
Okay, that is Mark Bunker. Xenu TV is the website. He's telling us about the organization Scientology. It's from his perspective. We'll be back with more of that and a couple of other guests after this. Welcome back to Dr. Drew Live. We're having a, I hope, rational, dispassionate discussion about something that's in the news quite a bit these days, which is the Church of Scientology. I know Tom Cruise has a lot of controversy swirled around him, obviously, and his participation in this. We were talking with Mark Bunker from Xenu TV, and now I'm welcoming Tory Christman. Tory?
Hey, how are you?
I'm great, Tory. Tory is a former member of the church for 30 years.
That's right.
And
it's a long time.
And we heard you in a little snippet from Xenu TV where you were Mark was talking about, I don't know, I guess somebody died in one of the detox organizations, and we hear you there going, what about you? Why do you care? You were sort of trying to turn it back on him.
I know. It's kind of pathetic. It's really what happens. I mean, Scientology is like a slow mind-controlled train, right?
Right.
And by the time you get where I was, which is like next to the top, you're so brainwashed, you really believe, honestly, that anybody that's an enemy of the church or anybody against Scientology at all must be an enemy, and thus they must have what Hubbard called overts or bad deeds. So it's like, what did Mark do? Do you see what I mean?
Oh, so you were asking him...
He must do bad deeds because he's here criticizing us.
So he must have had bad things, and if he would just expose those to you, then he'd be welcomed into the fray or something? Or
for sure.
Oh, interesting.
But it's like there is that thing that Mark mentioned, always attack, never defend. So you'll always find Scientologists are out attacking, wherever they are, and that's because of that policy.
Are you under any kind of scrutiny from them now that you've left?
Oh, hell yeah. They've written thousands and thousands of pages of lies on me on the internet and followed me and my friends. And, they're a very weird mafia-like organization, as one of the judges called them. They're not a church.
But wouldn't it be more, well, we can talk about that in a second, but wouldn't it be more in their interest just to kind of let you be?
Yes. I left. When I left, I had called this lady who was helping me, Stacy Brooks, and I said, I'm not going to speak out, I'm not going to do videos, I'm not going to picket, right?
Yeah.
But then they canceled my van. The vice president was at LAX following me around. They chased me across the country. They had 25 people at Tampa Airport. The police got me out of the airport, right?
Wow.
It was insane. And, it's like I still wasn't, even then, Bob Minton said, ladies and gentlemen, this is because of the Church of Scientology. I put my hand over his mouth and said, don't say that. That's my church, right?
Right.
Right? I hated Miscavige, who runs it, who's a complete jerk. But I still felt like I was for Hubbard and the tech. I mean, since then, they've picked at me enough. I finally said, hey, I have a voice, too. And I've been speaking out ever since.
Did you see something in those upper levels that they were concerned about?
No, what I saw was they included me, and I just talked to someone who was from the RTC, which is the very, very top thing that they work with Miscavige, and she's out now, and she said, they said to me, you were doing this Office of Special Affairs, which is their PR/legal group, and really dirty tricks. You were doing this program, and it flipped. It's like it reversed. It didn't work, and that's why you're out. And that's kind of true. I mean, they had me in this top-secret mafia opening up phony accounts. That's why you say paranoia you're against. But I can give you many, many examples of things I was part of that were really dirty tricks, but you don't know it.
You what do you mean? Oh, you as somebody inside perpetrating these things?
Well, I was out opening up phony accounts, but I trusted my auditor. He said, Tory, I would never do anything illegal. And it really isn't illegal, but it's immoral. Do you see what I mean? I was opening up phony accounts. He wouldn't tell me what for. this is why I woke up. I finally went and looked on the Internet, and they have all the Scientologists terrified, so they won't look on the Internet because all these evil people are on there, right?
And you'll be infected by them or something?
Yeah, exactly. And so they won't look. But I finally thought, I grew up in Chicago, and I thought, these guys are starting to act like the mafia, right? I better look at what I'm doing. And I went on this news group, and they had all these baking recipes. Like let's say you're an ex-Scientologist, and you're saying Scientology sucks, right?
Right.
And they'd change your words to, this is how you bake brownies. And, they had all these baking recipes because their view was if you could drive some hot topics down off the first page, no one read the second page.
Oh, interesting. Now, there was a report in Vanity Fair about a couple, Teresa Duncan and Jeremy Blake, that sounded like acutely paranoid about Scientology and ended up killing themselves. Are you aware of that story?
Vaguely, I didn't know them, so I don't really want to speak about it because I don't have.
To me, that just seems as people with mental illness that started becoming paranoid about Scientology. I mean,
Scientology drives people insane. That is true, and I mean, I'm not paranoid. I've watched people kill themselves. My son, a dear friend of mine shot himself to death. One of my family I knew, their son hung himself.
But these are guys that left Scientology.
No, they didn't leave Scientology. Oh, those people left Scientology?
Well, no, I'm imagining.
They have all the mind control in their head.
But again, these are not mental health professionals. These are people that are vulnerable to these kinds of cults already, and so they might have some mental illness that goes unchecked and unnoticed, and for some reason they're exacerbated by the experience.
I'm going to tell you this. I've spoken with academics who study cults.
Yeah.
And they've said over and over that what you just said is not true. Not that there aren't some people with mental illness, but cults by their very nature are very isolating. They cut off your family, your friends, and often people in cults are very smart people. They are looking for something higher than regular life, right?
Yeah, but oftentimes...
This is what the academics have said.
Yeah, in my experience, as a deep...
Just people that were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
That can certainly happen, but in my experience, it's also people who feel deeply empty because of deficient...
That's not true.
In my experience. Okay, you were there. I mean, I'll take your word for it.
I'm just telling you, I know a lot of people who got in who had very rich lives, doctors, dentists, all kinds of things, who they suck in, and they think, okay, yeah, I can double my income, I'll join.
Phone number is 888-373-9502. We also have joining us Gareth Kales. Gareth?
Yes, how are you?
Hey, you hear Tory?
Yeah.
You've been hearing? Okay. And Gareth, you were at the organization Anonymous, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and that's a group that has been protesting Scientology, correct?
Yes, we've been protesting for about 3 months now.
And why? Where did you guys come from?
Well, Anonymous started on the Internet. There are a number of websites that are involved with us, and at one point the church decided to censor a video that went up with Tom Cruise, and that sparked our interest.
Where did that come from? Who released those videos?
I have no idea where the video came from.
Tory, do you know where those are coming from?
I don't. They were just leaked out.
Is there somebody inside that's sort of trying to do harm to the church, do you think?
I don't really know. I think probably somebody who, wants some... the top executives in Scientology are locked in a room. Someone left the top part where they are, and they've been locked in a room since 2000. So some people obviously have a message to get out.
And our experience with it so far is that there are people on the inside that are egging to get information out. Like, they can't leave, but they want to do enough... They want to do enough to make it so that the church starts to go downhill so that it'll be easier for them to get out later down the road.
Okay, guys, I'm going to ask you to hold on a second, can you? And we're going to take a break. And, Garrett, then I want you to tell me what Anonymous is, where it came from, why do you care? Because I understand why Tory cares. She was in there, and she still seems pretty even and dispassionate about this. You're going on with your life, right, Tory?
I have.
Yeah.
But, I lost all my friends and my husband of 27 years, I have some passion about it.
Okay. All right, we'll talk more about that after this commercial break. It's Dr. Drew Live. We've been having a conversation about groups that have been protesting the Scientology Church, or the Church of Scientology. Some people put that in quotations. We've been talking to Tory Christman. She was a former member of the church for 30 years and then left and has had multiple losses as a result, she says. And also Gareth Kales, who's with an organization called Anonymous. And as I've told you guys, paranoia makes me unhappy, and Scientology is an object of paranoia many times. Cults make me unhappy, and so, I worry about people getting caught in cults. Let me ask about Anonymous. Where'd they come from, Gareth, and who are they? Why do you care?
Anonymous, like I said before, it's made up of a number of websites on the internet. Previously, we've just done simple things like go after pedophiles, turn them into the authorities, that sort of thing. But recently, in January, the church